My parents are nuts.
My daughter is nuts.
Let's face it, families in general, if you think about it, are kind of nuts.
And if you disagree, it's because you're not part of the Nut family of Chicago, Illinois. You heard me. Our last name is Nutt.
N-U-T-T. It's a good name, solid name, easy to remember.
That's my father, Jerry. If he had to describe himself using only 3 words, he'd say...
Hard worker, hat salesman, professional Grinch.
Okay, that's 6 words, but who's counting? And this is my mother, Rosie. If she had to describe herself using only 3 words, she'd say...
First, I'd like to thank you all for coming. You know, it'll soon be Christmas, that wonderful time of year when families deck the halls, don gay apparel, and pretend they don't hate each other to the very depths of their souls.
Mama, 3 words.
Oh, loving housewife.
That's only 2.
Loving housewife.
Housewife is 1 word. I mean, unless you're describing yourself as a house.
Oh, well, in that case, add mother. Loving housewife and mother of a wonderful, precious, delightful, sarcastic daughter who can't seem to find the time to come home for Christmas for 2 years now.
The day I left for Harvard, my mother said,
Stay in Chicago, marry the boy next door. Okay, so one of his arms is a little shorter than the other. Who notices?
My father...
If you go to Harvard, you'll wind up a communist, or pregnant, or one of those weirdos that supports the National Endowment of the Arts.
He was right. 2 out of 3.
Oh, hold on, you didn't describe yourself.
Yes, 3 words.
Summa cum laude.
Well, what does that mean?
It's Latin. It means...
Oh, you don't think I know Latin? I'm perfectly acquainted with Latin. It means too smart for your own britches.
Growing up, I thought my family was normal. We all make that mistake, and one day it'll occur to you that they're absolutely nuts. For me, that moment happened on a Christmas Eve when my Grinch father went to confession. The year was 1975. A gallon of gas cost 44 cents. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was under 1,000, and the inflation rate was 9.2%.
Okay, this is claustrophobic, don't you know?
Mr. Nuts?
No, it's nut, not nuts.
Sorry, Mr. Nut.
Father. Pretty young to have a cane, aren't you, Father?
Well, that's not important. What matters is your relationship with the Lord.
Oh, okay. You know, me and you got a lot in common, Father.
Do we?
Yeah, I've been married 25 years. I'm not getting any either. Oh, it's just a little celibacy humor to break the ice, Father.
My father was raised Lutheran but hadn't been to church in 3 years.
Now, as you might have guessed, I'm not a member of your flock, but I think us professional Scrooges and you holy types can get along.
Mr. Nuts,
No, you gotta say it like you mean it, or people think it's a mistake. Nut!
Mr. Nut!
It's better, not perfect. So you're the new guy, huh?
Yes, first week on the
All
job.
right, let's cut the chit-chat, get down to business. As you know, I sell hats. So when you called, my intellectual logic told me that you need some hats.
Mr. Nutt, I didn't ask you here to talk hats.
Well, you got another bidder? Take 2% off, and that's my final offer.
Please. I need to talk to you about Charlie.
What's this?
Charlie is my younger brother. He passed away 3 years earlier on Christmas Eve.
Your son, Charlie. I don't know how to tell you this.
Just say it.
I was the last person to see him alive.
What?
I know this must be difficult for
I'm
you.
befuddled here. What are you saying?
I just wanted to let you know that he expired quickly, that he felt no pain, and that he was an extremist.
Extremist?
It's Latin, meaning...
I'm perfectly acquainted with Latin, Father. That's not important here. What is important is, did you see the guy in the other car? The hoodlum who fled the scene of the crime.
When I arrived at the scene of the accident 3 years ago, I didn't know what to do. I panicked. It was a spur-of-the-moment thing. I meant to give him last rites, but I was nervous. I was right out of seminary. It was my first week as a priest. Little did I know that years later, I'd be assigned to this same parish.
Just get to the point, Father.
Before your son died, I baptized him.
Are you saying that my son died? A Catholic?
Well, sort of.
My father was a Lutheran, my mother a Catholic. My father conservative, my mother liberal. My father ate meat, my mother lettuce. So, my younger brother Charlie was raised a conservative Lutheran who ate hamburgers, and I a lettuce-eating liberal Catholic. I asked my mother why they couldn't compromise. Why couldn't we children be raised vegetarians who eat steak on Fridays? Or Unitarians who believe in something? All she said was,
They went to sea in a sieve, they did in a sieve, they went to sea. In spite of all their friends could say, on a winter's morn, on a stormy day, in a sieve they went to sea. And then their boat turned round and round, and everyone cried, you'll all be drowned.
After my brother's unfortunate death, my father became a dedicated skeptic while my mother set out on an apology tour.
Hello! Is this Jan Pogazelski, Pulaski High School? Oh yeah, it's Rosie Nutt, formerly Rosie Gerbowski. I sat next to you in freshman English. That's right, the girl who got the perfect attendance award at commencement. How are ya?
Her goal was to locate and apologize to all 147 members of her 1955 high school graduating class.
Oh, let me tell you, it hasn't been easy finding you. You've been on my karma list for years. The reason I'm calling? I just want to say I'm sorry for how I treated you back in high school. What? AA. Yeah, how did you guess? Yes, I've been a proud member of Alcoholics Anonymous for 3 years and almost totally completely dry now for 2.
After 3 years of phone calls, she only had 3 names left on her list: Jan Pogozelski, Joyce Cooper, and Barbara Hilton.
Jan Pogazelski, do you accept my deep, heartfelt apology? Bless you. From the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry for grabbing the microphone during commencement and calling you into the entire graduating class a bunch of knuckle-dragging, slack-jawed, pickle-sucking stupid heads. Yeah, bye-bye.
As time passes, you'll find that one Christmas flows into the next, that they become inseparable. But the Christmas of 1975 would be one that I would never forget. Bless me, Father, for I've sinned. It's been 5 years since my last confession. I was just pacing outside and thought, what the heck? I've been home from college for 2 days now and still haven't gotten up the nerve to call my parents. It's not that my parents aren't okay people, it's just that they're a black hole devoid of flexibility. No light escapes my family.
Did you say 5 years?
How was I born into this family? How is it possible that I came from people who've never read Buddha or Kurt Vonnegut or Ken Kesey or the last Whole Earth catalog?
I don't follow.
Okay, be honest. Do I sound like a petty, ungrateful child?
You forgot elitist.
How can I be elitist? My last name is Nutt.
Did you say nut?
Oh, yes, it's not a mistake.
Oh dear.
Do you know why no one produces Shakespeare's play, Coriolanus?
No.
It's not that it's not an okay play, it's the name, Coriolanus. When I was a kid, I would have given my soul to come from parents who were New England intellectuals with a last name like Rothschild or Morgan Stanley. Okay, I'll shut up. What should I do?
You should call your parents and tell them you're home.
Oh, I can't. It's Christmas Eve, and the carolers are out.
And that's a problem?
Yes, my father is the reincarnation of Scrooge. He always drives them off. One year, he threw snowballs at them. Another, it was a slingshot and marbles. God knows what terrible things he has planned this year.
I had a laundry basket full of dirty socks. Have you seen it? What's that?
It's an official Daisy Red Ryder 200-shot range model BB gun.
You are not going to do what I think you're going to do.
Well, if carolers show up, I'm prepared.
Are you nuts?
You know, I was at Kiwanowski's market the other day. Guess what they were doing? Playing Christmas music.
Yeah, because it's Christmas Eve. Why wouldn't they be playing Christmas
They
music?
used to started doing it a week before Thanksgiving. You know, pretty soon they'll be playing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in July. You know, we gotta stand up for our rights, Rosie.
Give me the BB gun.
No.
Give me the gun. So guess who called?
Rosie, you know I don't like guessing games.
Guess what little guess?
Hitler.
No! Old Lady Borkowski from the Kalinowski market. She said that she's absolutely almost positive for sure that she saw our Loretta, or someone who looks almost just exactly like her, pacing out front of St. Hyacinth this morning.
What do you know? Our brainy little daughter finally decided to come home for Christmas.
Although it's not like her not to call.
Well, not like her. That's exactly her M.O.
M.O.? What's M.O.?
M.O. Modo operarius. It's Latin police terminology.
So police talk in Latin?
All the time, it confuses the heck out of the crooks.
Well, I had a dream that she met a boy. Wouldn't that be nice? Maybe she's come home to introduce him to us. I do hope he's a decent fella.
I'd be happy if she found a man with enough gumption to work a 40-hour week.
And you wonder why she doesn't introduce you to the boys she dates.
Why? Because I care about her future?
Yeah, and so that's why the last one she dated, you hired a detective to follow?
I did not hire a detective, Rosie. I got Majewski down at the station house to check him out. And if I hadn't, we'd have never known that that middle-aged pervert was a pedophile.
He was a periodontist.
Oh. Still, does it sound right? Where's my baby gun?
You're not shooting them! Back away. Chris is over. Shoot!
Oh, no! You want to see a hit, Rosie? I'll show you what a hit looks like. Sounds great, guys. Get out of here! Get out of my house!
I can never go home again.
But it's Christmas.
I can't.
Why not?
Father, I've been dating this Harvard law student. He's perfect. Intellectual, loves Shakespeare, comes from Cape Cod, took me yachting. Can you imagine me yachting? Growing up, my parents never let me near water. My mother told me that chlorine caused skepticism. And so I told my Cape Cod law student, no problem, I know all about yachting. And then I let go of this rope and this big thing came sweeping across the deck, killing him.
You killed him?
Well, almost. It knocked him cold.
Is he okay?
He has this huge bump on his head, and then he told me he loved me.
Because he was delusional?
No, because I told him I loved him.
Was this before or after you tried to kill him?
He wants to meet my parents, but I can't.
Why not?
Father, I grew up in a world devoid of words like yachting or opera, and never more than one fork at dinner.
But if you love him...
His last name is Kennedy. He's not just any Kennedy, but the real thing. A Massachusetts Kennedy.
A descendant of...
Yes, American royalty.
Ooh. A Catholic.
He asked me to marry him.
But that's a good thing, right?
No, it's not. Can you imagine us in the New York Times Sunday weddings page? Kennedy weds nut. It just doesn't sound right. It's like tuba scholarship, two words that just don't go together.
But he knows your last name.
No, he doesn't. I told him my last name was Coors.
Coors?
Yes, we met at this party and he had such great hair and it smelled like Farrah Fawcett shampoo. Have you ever smelled Farrah Fawcett shampoo?
Can't say I have.
It really smells good. And he was obviously interested and then he asked my name and I had this beer in my hand and...
In other words, you lied.
Well, sort of, but then I broke it off.
Why?
Because it can't work. Can you imagine my parents meeting his? It's like PBS versus professional wrestling. My parents actually watch professional wrestling. I'm so ashamed.
There.
So then I wrote him a Dear John letter and I left school. And then I got a call from my roommate that he's looking for me. And that means that poor polo shirt wearing coxswain is searching Golden, Colorado for a red Porsche.
Coxswain?
It's the one who steers the boat. He's on the Harvard rowing team.
Golden, Colorado.
That's where Coors beer is made.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I take it you don't drive a Porsche.
Not exactly.
Young lady, not exactly, and well sort of are signs of an ungodly mind. You, my child, need to call your parents and tell them you're home. And you must contact this...
Coxswain.
Thank you. And invite him to meet your parents.
Father, if my coxswain came to Chicago, Illinois, I'd jump off the Sears Tower.
One moment, please. It's a sin for a Catholic to jump from the Sears Tower.
Hello? Hello, Max? Hey, Jerry Nutt. Look, I know you're retired and all, but I got this lawyer-type question for you. How would one go about suing a priest for malpractice and a baptism reversal? I gotta call you back.
Hello?
Welcome to the Mad Hatter, the last shop in Chicago dedicated only to selling hats. Jerry Nutt, proprietor. I don't like the word owner, you know? I'm a proprietor. There's a difference. Let me guess. You're looking for a hat.
Oh, no, I'm here about the sign in the window.
Sign?
Yeah, the help wanted sign.
Oh, that. Right. Sorry, but the position's not open anymore.
Well, then why is there a sign?
I'm waiting for my daughter to come to her senses and to take the job.
Your daughter?
Yes.
She must be very special.
Well, jury's out on that.
Sure she'll show up here?
She hasn't been home for Christmas in 2 years. Probably not.
Oh. Well, Don, I was just walking by, saw the sign, and thought I found my dream job.
Part-time help at a hat shop is your dream job. What are you, a college student?
Yes.
Pretty snappy dresser for Chicago Community College.
Oh, no, I attend a school out east. You see, I'm a law student.
Law?
Yes.
Let me ask you something. Can one sue a priest?
Sure, I guess.
And what would you charge me for this little papal litigation I got going on?
Oh, no, I'm not a lawyer yet, but I'd be happy to give you a little pro bono advice.
Pro bono?
It's Latin.
Of course. I totally know Latin myself. Okay, Mr. Lawyer-type person, pass this test and you're hired. Temporarily. This?
Oh, that's Ebola.
Lucky guess. This?
Panama.
This?
Pillbox.
Interesting.
Is something wrong?
You know what a lady's pillbox is? What are you? Homo erectus?
Excuse me?
You know what I mean.
I don't think you need to be gay to know that that's a pillbox hat. It was made famous by my Jackie Kennedy.
What did you say?
It was made famous by Jackie
Now
Kennedy.
we do not mention the name Kennedy in this shop. Are we clear on this?
Because?
You may know your hats, but you don't know your hat history. John F. Kennedy didn't wear a hat during his inauguration in 1960, and suddenly it became fashionable to go hatless. He single-handedly destroyed the men's hat business. And to top it off, think of all the deaths that have been caused by that man's reckless actions.
The deaths?
From people catching colds because they're not wearing hats. Hey!
Oh, Stetson, a fedora, a veil, plaza suite.
You know, there is no shame in being pro bono.
Do I get the job?
Okay. Mr. Snappy Dresser, you're hired. Temporarily. Name?
Stanley.
Stanley what?
Kowalski.
Stanley Kowalski. It's got a ring to it. Good name. Solid name. Go get the dirty socks out of the back.
The what?
The dirty socks now!
Okay, yes. Where are they?
They're right there, Stan!
All right, here they are.
Now stay here and watch the hats.
What are you gonna do?
Just watch! Look at me!
What a nut.
You're wrong. Your family's not nuts.
Yes, they are.
You should call them.
I can't.
Why not?
Because if I call, I'll hang up.
Don't hang up.
I always hang up.
God doesn't want you to hang up. You should call them right now.
You keep a phone in your confessional?
There's a lot back here you sinners don't know about. Ham sandwich?
You eat when taking confessions?
Doing God's work burns a lot of calories. Dial. Don't think about it. Just do it. The power of Christ compels you. I've always wanted to say that.
That's our Loretta! Jerry, come here.
How do you know?
A mother's God-given intuition is most of the time almost hardly ever wrong. Hello? Hello? Nothing. Just dead air.
Dead air? That's her. Let me talk to her.
I can handle
I
it.
just want to talk to her, Rosie.
You gotta be sensitive.
And what's not sensitive about asking her a simple question?
Okay, but be nice.
Okay. I admit I was wrong. You're not a communist. Or pregnant. One of those weirdos that supports the National Endowment of the Arts. You're a lesbian. Am I right? You're a lesbian and you do drugs. Matter of fact, you're so hopped up on marijuana right now, you can't even talk. I'm not dumb. I can connect the dots.
Lori, honey. Forgive your father. Since he gave up smoking, he's been a tad irritable. So what's up? Are you having some sort of overwhelming psychological problems? Not a problem. I'll put you on speakerphone. Which button do I push?
How should I know, Rosie?
How about I try this one? How's that? Can you hear us? You're on the speakerphone your great Aunt Annabelle left us. She could only hear out of her right ear, so we should be nice and loud. You're on that little table between us. Remember that table? That's where you are. The table we got from your Uncle Mort when he died of diabetes after being hit by that bus.
What does she care about the table for?
I know about such things. Let me handle this. Okay, Lori, honey, your father and I are going to go about what we're going about, and when you're comfortable, you talk.
What are you doing?
Oh, I read about this in Reader's Digest. It's called listening therapy. She talks and we listen.
Listen. What for?
Well, as long as your daughter is emotionally disturbed, we listen.
Disturbed. What has she got to be disturbed about, Rosie?
Listen and find out, Jerry.
Once we listen, then what do we do?
That's a good question. The article was a two-parter, so I won't find out until next month. Okay, Lori, honey, we are officially listening, so don't hold back nothing. And while you talk, we will remain totally silent so that you can get it all out without interruption. Trust me, I know what heck it can be to be interrupted all the time. I swear, I barely get a word in around here, so we have a lot in common. If you think about it, what we have in common makes us family. Never forget family, for family's all that matters at Christmas time, even if the world is full of hate and chaos and starvation and pain. All I know for sure is that two conditions rule God's beautiful creation: jealousy and suspicion. Jealousy at any level, even the smallest trace, will tear the world apart. The suspicion in modest doses, that suspicion's not so bad. So Lori, honey, speak your mind and listen. Although I can't imagine what the problem could be. You had a pretty nice childhood. I mean, you stayed in your room a lot, talked about joining the Peace Corps. Did you ever want? Maybe now and then, but you had food on your table and a shirt on your back. So do it. Say whatever's bothering you and we will listen, because listening is the key to being a good parent. Someday you'll know this to be true. Someday you'll be on the speakerphone listening to your own daughter's overwhelming psychological trauma. But in order to do that, you gotta get married. Oh, I do hope you'll find the right man and have lots of little ones. Because you know, birth control pills cause blood clots. That's Jesus' way of telling us to stay away from birth control. Oh, but I'm getting off the subject. Because now we are now going to listen. You ready, honey? Okay, we're ready. So talk, because if you don't talk, I don't know what else to do except get old and die, which is going to happen someday. Will we be able to listen from heaven or wherever the heck your father's going? That is up to God. So take advantage of us while you still got us. Am I right, honey? Lori, honey, your father's on the floor again. I'm going to bop him. Jerry, your daughter's on the phone!
What?
Am I right, honey?
Yeah, you're right. Carp denim.
What's carp denim?
It's Latin. It means fish today.
That's right! Lori, honey, carp denim! Because you have two parents who are good listeners. Okay. Go on. We're ready now.
Say something. Anything.
Is she talking? Because if she is, I can't hear squat.
Wait! I'm about to be brilliant. Lori, honey, obviously you are too deeply disturbed to talk. So tell you what. To relax you, your father and I are going to have a regular conversation.
What do you mean regular?
Talk about something regular. I'll start. The couple next door had a fight today. All in Spanish, so I don't know what for. Your turn.
What?
Talk about something.
Well, like what?
Like what happened at work this morning.
Why would I talk about work?
To relax her so she can open up.
Well, what's to say?
Anything happened.
I came in.
Oh, God came in. Did you hear that, Lori, honey? How interesting.
He was asking about Loretta's job, which she hasn't done for 3 years. But who's counting? Said his name was Stanley Kowalski. I think he's a fairy.
You mean a leprechaun?
No, I think he's like your Uncle Stefan.
Oh! How do you know?
Occam's razor. When you're shaving and someone asks you a question, if there are 2 answers, the simplest answer is always the one to go with. Simplest answer is Uncle Stefan.
Oh. Well, if you don't want to hire him, then don't hire him.
Trust me, I won't. He did know a lot about his hats, though.
Then hire him.
Well, why should I?
Because he knows his hats.
Shows how little you know about retail. There are many other facets to consider.
Like what?
Like the fact that he wasn't wearing a hat.
Oh.
A guy walks into a hat shop and asks for a hat job, and he wasn't wearing a hat.
Don't start with me again.
Oh, like my wife, who also
Oh.
doesn't wear a hat.
I said don't start.
I'm just saying, if you walk into a hat shop and ask for a hat job, maybe you should wear a hat. And if your husband happens to own a hat shop, maybe his wife should just wear a hat.
Why do you do this? Every time you come home for lunch, you start a fight.
You started it, Rosie.
I'm done with you.
Is it so much to ask for? Just a little free advertising.
I'm not a billboard.
No one's calling you a billboard. I ask for so little in this house. Just put something on your head. Life on this earth is pulled down hard on a man's head. I ask for so little.
Where are you going?
I'm going to the shop. Where else is there for me to go?
Lori, honey, I'm sorry you had to hear that. I know this is hard for you, but I want you to know that your father is a good man and a decent provider and an okay listener. Once in a great while, a really kind of okay listener. Father?
Yes, my child? Yes?
I've been on a 24-hour waiting list for 24 hours now.
Meaning?
I'm...
You're...
Yes,
with...
child. Farrah Fawcett shampoo and a yacht. I kinda got carried away.
You must call this young man.
No, I have an appointment with the clinic today.
The clinic?
You know what I mean?
Loretta, life is...
Sacred? Is that what you're gonna say?
Not exactly.
If that's the case, then why did God take my little brother? On Christmas Eve. If he had been speeding or drunk, but he was just minding his own business. I often wonder what was so important, why he had to go down that exact street at that exact moment.
God works in...
I know what you're gonna say. God works in mysterious ways, am I right?
Well, sort of.
Well, sort of, not exactly. Thanks for listening, Father, but I have an appointment to keep.
When?
3 o'clock.
Retta, before you do something rash, call one more time.
All I'll do is hang up.
Your father's out. It's just your mother. Tell her you're with child.
Never.
Have faith.
And what's faith?
It's a deep conviction that lets you know that everything will be okay. It's perhaps the most complex of human emotions, and I have to admit there are times that even I can't say I have faith, but if there ever was a time, this is it.
A time to have faith in faith?
Call your mother, and everything will work out for the best.
You guarantee it?
I don't have the power to.
You're a man of God. If not you, then who?
All right. I guarantee it.
Okay. If she answers, I'll talk. But if she doesn't, I'm keeping the appointment. So it's in God's hands now. Here goes. An act of faith. It's busy.
Loretta, wait!
Is this Joyce Cooper? Oh yeah, it's Rosie Nutt, formerly Rosie Grabowski. I sat near you in sophomore algebra. I was the one, that's right, who was never sick. Anyways, the reason I'm calling is because you're on my karma list, and so I'm calling to ask for your forgiveness. What? Yeah, how did you guess? Anyways, I just want to say, I'm so sorry for calling you and the entire graduating class a bunch of knuckle-dragging, slack-jawed, pickle-sucking stupidheads. Hello? Yellow?
What are you doing?
Oh, I thought I'd put up some Christmas
Yeah,
decorations.
well, stop it. Any customers?
No. You know, Mr. Nutt, maybe it's time to admit that hats are a little
Now
fashioned.
stop right there. Conversation over. Well, there are trends. Things come and things go, but not hats. So I stay the course. You know, that's the key to life. Always stay the course and never hang your hat higher than you can reach. And so this conversation is over. Say it.
Oh, conversation over.
I mean, hats are still important. You know, every major religion has a hat. Where would your nuns or your Islamicists or your Shriners be without hats? Hats are values. You know, values that have stood the test of time.
Yeah, like what?
Like not cheating too much on your taxes. Like asking the parents' permission to marry their daughter instead of telling them.
Well, isn't that a bit old-fashioned?
These are values, Stanley, and I never question my values.
Why not?
Because life's too short to go running around questioning everything. So I know what I know. You know, I go to work and I sell hats. That's my function within the creation. And so this conversation is over.
Conversation over.
And you know what killed the men's hat business?
JFK.
Him and this newfangled thing called Casual Friday. Well, that's what's wrong with society. So come as you are. Be yourself. Gentlemen no longer know how to tie the perfect bow tie, and ladies are always going out trying to find themselves, only they got no idea how to do it. So they put off marriages and go to fancy colleges, and before you know it, they're paying out tons of cash to voodoo doctors because their tubes are all clogged up. Now, God intended us to wear hats. He intended us to have children early, and above all, He intended us to patronize corner stores.
Well, maybe your daughter doesn't want to have children.
What's this about my daughter?
Oh, sorry, I just thought you was talking about your daughter.
All morning, all you've been doing is asking about my daughter. What's with all these personalized questions?
Oh, just small talk.
What's your shirt size?
My what?
You heard me, shirt size.
16 and a half.
Shoes?
10.
Hat? Mom, you don't know.
Well, no, not exactly.
Yeah, I knew it. My intellectual logic told me something was up with you. You memorized a bunch of facts about hats from the encyclopedia, but you don't know your own size? Sit.
But I just...
You heard me, sit.
Okay, yeah. Sure.
You know, you can tell a lot about a person by the size of their head. Of course, brain size has nothing to do with hat size. Many people have big heads, but thick skulls, thus small brains. Interesting.
Something wrong?
Looks like you got a lump right there.
Oh, yes, I know.
Childhood incident?
No.
Auto accident?
No.
Looks painful.
Ow! Yes, Mr. Nutt.
This is no ordinary lump, Stanley.
Ow! Mr. Nutt, my size.
Yeah, sure. What business is it of mine? None whatsoever. People can keep a lot of things under their hats.
My size?
You're a size 7.
Good to know.
You know, it's, possible to measure a man, Stanley. You can size him up. And I'm closing in on you.
Now that you mention it, someone did stop by. Father Ramona.
Father Ramona, let me guess, he was in a bit of a panic.
He did seem a tad nervous, yes.
That's good. That's good. It means he got the letter from my lawyer.
Oh, he didn't mention anything about a letter. He was just here for your daughter.
And my daughter?
Yeah, and he was in such a rush, he left his appointment book.
Let me see that.
Sure.
This is it! Yeah, this is the answer to all my prayers, the number to the Pope's direct line. I don't got long distance here at the shop. I gotta go home.
Wait, what are you gonna do?
What else am I gonna do, Stanley? I'm gonna call the Pope.
Okay, but you can't
End of conversation.
End of conversation.
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. It's been 1 week since my last confession. First, Father, I want to say it was so nice of you to call and invite me over. What would you like me to confess? Father? Of course. A stupid question doesn't deserve an answer. You know, Father, lately I've been thinking that all of my problems are caused because I have an interfaith, interfood marriage. Do you think that's the case? Once again, silence. I see your point. Why would God care? You know, Father, I learned so much from your meaningful silences. Remember last week when I was telling you all about my problems, about my dear departed son? It seemed to really affect you. And I could tell by your long and meaningful silences that you took it personally. And I have figured out why. It's because you're a good listener, am I right, Father?
Yes.
Ooh, what shall I do in the way of penance? How about 3 Hail Marys?
Rosie, the reason I called you here, what are you doing today at 3?
3? Oh, where else would I be? I'm going to afternoon mass.
You're not going to Mass today.
Miss Mass? Father, my sins must be sizable.
They are. Now you must do exactly what I said.
Hello? Hello, put the Pope on, would you? Hey, how's it going? Look, the reason I'm calling is I need a baptism reversal and a compensation for mental pain and suffering in the form of $1,000. Yeah, that's right, 1,000 big ones.
Who are you talking to?
Nobody.
It wasn't our Loretta?
Nope, sales call.
Oh. What were they selling?
Christmas Ice-Capades tickets.
The Ice-Capades?
Yep, told them we weren't interested.
Well, I don't know. I might like the Ice-Capades.
Since when are we Ice-Capades people?
I took Loretta when she was a child.
I'm not going. That would be my personal vision of heck.
You don't know that. One of the elves might fall and hurt themselves. You'd like that.
You know, where you been all day? You know, you left the soup simmering almost boiled dry. I didn't know what to do.
Jerry, we gotta talk.
Oh, what's this, a sign? What do you got a sign for?
I've been to a protest.
A protest? Since when do we protest people?
Jerry, we got problems.
And I'm sure they're so important that I gotta hear about them right now, but first I need to tell you about something, and I don't need you to get all, flummoxed.
Something happened this
And
afternoon.
I'm sure it's so important that I gotta hear about it right this second, but first I need you to listen to me. You know how I'm a good listener, right? Well, I need you to be a good listener, too.
Jerry.
Rosie, please. I will give you tons of time to talk, but first we gotta talk about Charlie.
What?
Our son. So disassociate yourself from yourself.
No, I can't talk about Charlie, not today.
Just follow my intellectual logic. You know how they never found the guy?
What guy?
The guy in the other car. The police said that he must have been injured in the crash, but he just fled the scene.
Warning, you got maybe 30 seconds.
Just think dissociation.
How?
Just pretend you're someone else.
Like who?
Like someone with a clear head. How about John Travolta? You're John Travolta at the Ice Capades.
I never cared for John Travolta.
You don't gotta like him. You just gotta be someone else so I can tell you my theory.
But why would John Travolta be at the Ice Capades?
See? It's working. Your mind is off the subject. Now I got this theory. You know how they never found the guy in the other car?
Well, what other car?
The car that broadsided our son on Christmas Eve.
Oh my God.
Think John Travolta at the Ice Capades. Now listen up. The police said that he must have been injured in the crash, but he fled the scene. Now we've always assumed it was some delinquent, but what if it wasn't?
Why don't follow?
You know, what if it was a good person, someone who just made a mistake, someone with a bright future who ran away because they were, I don't know, young, not criminal-minded? Or maybe someone who just made a few bad choices, but who now has overturned a new leaf. You see what I'm saying here?
No.
Whoever hit our boy must be haunted by the fact that they never paid their debt to society. You know, so what would you do years later, now that you got your life turned around?
John Travolta at the Ice Capades.
You'd want to fix the one thing that wasn't fixable. So you'd go back and look up that family, see how they were doing. You know, I saw it in a movie once.
A John Travolta movie?
Yeah, I don't remember the particulars, Rosie. Don't you understand?
What?
The why is Stanley Kowalski here.
Stanley who?
The law student. The third-year law student I hired down at the shop. He's a good person. I mean, as good a person can be being a law student. And he takes a low-paying job. It makes no sense. Then I found his lump. I was feeling his head and I found it.
A lump?
Yeah, an auto accident-sized lump right above his hairline.
You were feeling his head?
I was measuring it.
So you're saying that he's come here
To check us out. To see how we're doing. Don't you see? Connect the dots. It all adds up.
How does that add up?
Occam's razor. When you're shaving and someone asks you a question, if there are two answers, the simplest answer is always the one to go with.
So what do we do?
We gotta set a trap. We invite him over for dinner, ply him with intoxicating liquors, and then when he's good and drunk, we ask him for the truth. Then we do it.
Do what?
Spring the trap. We have the police waiting right outside. They rush in and make the arrest. I'll probably have to wear a wire.
A what?
A concealed mic. Don't worry about it. Majewski down at the station house knows all about these kind of things.
You're a nut. Everything everyone says about you is true.
And what do they say about me? They say I see things other people can't. Is that what they say, Rosie? Because you know I can. You know, most people go through life without being able to connect dots. Unlike me. You know, I understand the fine art of dot connection. 25 years of measuring heads has given me insight that most people just don't got.
You want insight? I'll give you insight. I saw our Loretta
What's this?
with my own eyes, and she was at the clinic.
Clinic? What clinic?
The clinic on Biltmore Street. Father Ramon and I handcuffed ourselves to the clinic's front door, and then the police arrived.
Handcuffs? What are you wearing handcuffs for, Rosie?
The police used bolt cutters, but I can't get the other side off. Father Ramon!
What are you saying?
They arrested Father Ramona, and they were gonna arrest me too, and then Majewski saw me in the squad car and let me go with just a warning.
Since when do we handcuff ourselves to the front door of clinics type people?
Jerry, I saw her, Loretta, and she wasn't there to protest.
What are you saying?
Think about it.
I don't understand, Rosie.
Connect the dots!
She's no daughter of mine anymore.
She's our child, all right. The only one we got left.
Just go make soup.
Our child is in trouble, and you want me to make soup?
Yes, Rosie, just make soup.
Fine, I'll make soup. Do you want a cup or bowl?
I don't care, just make it.
As for your stupid Stanley Kowalski theory, I think it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Occam's razor, woman.
Oh my, that's her. I thought she was...
Don't you dare hang up on me. You understand? If you hang up on me, you communist, pregnant weirdo, that... Yes. Yeah, I would like to make a donation of March of Dimes. Yeah, put me down for 2 bits. Mm-hmm. Cancel that.
Don't get your hopes up. I've just come for my stuff.
Here's your damn soup. I hope you choke! Lori, honey, give us a kiss. Mwah! Ooh, I got some lipstick on you. Let me wipe it off. I can explain.
Mama,
You must be hungry. I'll get you something to nosh on.
Mama.
I love that coat.
Mama, we need to talk.
But if I'm right, that's not machine washable. I think it made a mistake. Let me check the check.
Mama, I know you were at the...
Dry clean only. You're gonna have to take it back. We can do it tomorrow. For now, get off your feet and I'll make you soup and a sandwich with the good cheese. Velveeta.
So, prodigal daughter returns. Went off to her fancy college thinking she was better than the rest of us. Got her head full of a bunch of nonsense, experimented with marijuana, no doubt, and now she's a communist, pregnant atheist. This is what happens when you attend Harvard. This is what happens when you forget who you are, am I right? Loretta Nutt, I asked you a question, am I right?
Yes, Dad, you're right. You're always right about everything.
Yeah, I know. You know how I know? Because I can connect dots. I am a dot connector.
That Jerry Nutt's a jerk. Like a diaper, his farts smell even worse. He's stupid and he's ugly. His presence is a curse.
Christmas or not,
At Christmas time, the Christians fill the pews. But all the songs the Christians sing are written by the Jews. Irving Berlin, yes, he's a Jew. And technically, Jesus was too. Yes, all the songs the Christians sing are written by the Jews.
Happy Hanukkah.
Hello, is this Barbara Hilton, Pulaski High School? It isn't? Are you sure? I was just going through the newspaper and I saw this woman on the society page that looks a lot like a Barbara I knew. Well, do you know of a Barbara Hilton? No, this is no sales call. Please don't hang up. Let me say it again, real slow, just in case you didn't pick up on it. Barbara Hilton. Hello? Hello?
You're on the phone. I told you to steer clear of the phone.
I don't just blindly do what you say, Jerry. I need a reason.
Oh, you need a reason? How's this for a reason? Here, say something.
Like what?
Say anything.
What should I say?
Anything that comes into your head.
Okay, there's $300 missing from our savings
Oh,
account.
into the button.
What button?
This here button.
You want me to talk into your shirt button?
Say anything, Rosie. Just say it into the button.
Oh, okay. I want to donate to Father Ramona's Defense Fund and discovered there's $300 missing from our savings account.
Now watch, listen, learn. Majewski, did you hear that? You did? Oh, it's working.
What's working?
I'm wired. Majewski's listening in from an unmarked cop car.
Are you nuts?
Nope, I'm connecting dots. A confession in court is useless without a witness.
Jerry, I'm putting my foot down. You're not doing this.
Well, I've invited Stanley Kowalski over for dinner tonight. We are getting that confession.
My soup and I are not going to be part of any crazy scheme.
All you gotta do is act natural like. Let me do the nonchalant probing. Just be yourself. Only don't say anything stupid. Now go, kitchen, make some soup.
Jerry,
Soup.
there's $300 missing from our savings account.
Oh, it's not important right now, Rose. You know what's important is soup.
How can $300 not be important?
Because when this is all over, I'll account for every single penny. I just needed some money for this papacy litigation I got going on, okay? All right, Majewski, you there? Testing 1, 2, 3. Let's do a distance test, okay? Stay. Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? All right. Go on, say something. Go on, say something.
You are a nutcase!
Did you hear that? Yeah, she called me a nutcase. You couldn't? Well, the sensitivity knob must be screwed. It's up all the way. That must be Finnegal's law of dynamic negatives. What can go wrong must go wrong, and at the worst possible moment. Where the heck you going?
Confession?
Confession? What the heck you gotta confess to?
I'm going to confess that my husband is an idiot!
Can't leave now, Rosie. The plan is about to be hatched.
You heard me, Jerry. You are a nutcase. You too, Majewski.
At least put on a hat. Oh, fine. See if I care. You'll probably die of pneumonia. Did you hear that? Yeah, she was yelling. You could hear me, but not her. Yeah, you know what? Wait, I got an idea. You know what? Maybe my shirt's too thick. That's it. I'm gonna go put on a thinner shirt.
Welcome to the Mad Hatter.
Oh my God.
Loretta.
Langdon! What are you doing?
Selling hats.
You what?
Well, yeah, I work here.
You what?
Your father hired me.
You met my father?
Well, yes.
Oh God, no, I can't do
No,
this.
wait, Loretta, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Well, not a lot to be ashamed of. He's a little old-fashioned, but he's a hard-working man, and he's committed to his very limited point of view.
Does he know who you are?
He's clueless.
I can't believe you did this. You lied to me.
I lied. You told me your last name was Coors.
That's different. I was protecting you.
From what?
The Nut family.
No, Loretta. Just because we come from different socioeconomic backgrounds doesn't mean we can't be together.
You had no right to come here.
What else was I supposed to do? I meet a wonderful woman, things are going great. Okay, she nearly kills me on my yacht, but other than that, things are fine. And then I wake up one morning and I find she's packed her bags, wrote an ambiguous note, and jumped ship. Loretta.
You just don't get it. My childhood was a never-ending train wreck. At 15, I asked for a copy of Mrs. Dalloway. They got me a cat picture book. On my 16th birthday, I told my mother I wanted tickets to La Traviata. They got me tickets to the Ice-capades. It's like my parents took a snapshot of me when I was 8 years old and nothing has changed.
Well, isn't that true of all parents? My parents keep buying me books on E.E. Cummings, and as you know, I've been off of Cummings for years now. It's a Tennyson, maybe Yeats, but not Cummings.
Langdon, don't you see, before they go to bed, your parents read the complete history of the Peloponnesian War. My parents read Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Not the book, the Cliff Notes.
Don't you feel anything for me?
Yes. I was taken by your intelligence and how you acted like success was preordained, but you're a Kennedy, and I'm a nut. It's not going to work.
Loretta, I was at this wine and cheese reception the other night at my parents' estate, and I was talking to this anti-Stratfordian about how Shakespeare could have never written the plays attributed to him.
What does this have to do with anything?
No, hear me out, okay? He was going over all the standard reasons of why not. Shakespeare's lack of education, a lack of knowledge and courtmanship, his parents are rather average standing in society. It was a solid, if not ironclad, argument as to why Shakespeare could have never written the plays attributed to him. But then I came here, to Chicago, and I met your father. So? Now I know. If you come from this family, Shakespeare wrote those plays.
You betrayed my confidence.
You told me a Porsche was in the shop.
How did you find me?
Your roommate helped. Loretta, this fixation you have with your family, so what? They're just average. You're not.
Sorry. Not good enough.
Fine. We won't get married. We won't commit. Is that what you want? We'll continue what we're doing, just staying up late, reading Shakespeare and arguing about Tennyson. No commitment.
Really? You mean it?
Well, sure. We'll just have a meaningless physical relationship. No commitment.
That is the nicest thing that a man has ever said to me. How's your head?
What head?
The bump.
Oh, much better.
Say it.
Say what?
Say it.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. It's been less than 24 hours since my last confession. First, Father, I want to say I'm so sorry about yesterday, and I'm sorry you had to spend the night in jail. But most of all, I'm sorry to ask, but you wouldn't happen to have the keys to the handcuffs, would you? I see your point. Don't concentrate on negatives, right? This time your silence is more meaningful. I think what you're trying to say is I should confess. Okay, here goes. Back in high school, I never missed class. I've never been sick a day in my life. As a result, I was to get this attendance medal and give a speech at graduation. But back in those days, I was chubby, and everywhere I went, I carried cookies. On my way up to the podium to give the speech, I tripped, and the cookies all flew into the air. And little did I know that one rogue chocolate chip had lodged in my beehive hairdo. As I spoke, everyone started laughing. But to this day, I'm almost absolutely mostly positive that it was the head cheerleader, Barbara Hilton, who started it. Soon everyone was laughing at me. And that's when I called the 147 members of the graduating class, a bunch of knuckle-dragging, slack-jawed, pickle-sucking stupidheads! Will I ever be forgiven, Father?
Yes.
No, I won't. Not until I call every member of the graduating class. And there's only one left. Barbara Hilton.
Rosie, I've been transferred.
What?
Father Sanchez will be taking up confession starting next week. He's a little bit more by the book than I've been.
Oh no, please, you can't go.
Before you leave, there's something I need you to do.
Please tell me it does not involve handcuffs.
I need you to take my confession.
What's this? Wow. It's so different on this side. You may now confess, my son.
I was the last person. I was the last person to see Charlie alive.
How does your head feel now?
Wonderful.
We have an understanding?
Understanding?
You'll quit, and tomorrow go back to Cambridge, and in a few days I'll join you. And we'll continue as we were. Then, in about a year, your family will pressure you into finding a proper girl, some suburban royalty, and you'll go your way, and I'll go mine.
Loretta, I love...
Oh my God, it's my mother. Hi.
Oh, Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Lori, honey, you scared me.
I'm so sorry.
What the heck are you doing here? I could have had a heart attack.
I was just walking by and...
Oh, you okay?
Me? Fine. Tell you what, let's lock up and go home.
What's for me at home?
You and Dad have another fight?
Of course not. Your father and I never fight.
Mama,
That's it, isn't it?
What?
That's the reason you broke up with that boy, because of your father and I.
What boy?
The boy you won't introduce us to. The boy you're in love with.
Mama, there were extenuating circumstances.
But you're having his baby.
Mama, I'm not pregnant.
I saw you at the clinic.
Mama,
I've never understood you, Lori, honey. I've never got why you've never been able to embrace your averageness.
Mama, I graduated first in my class. I have a full ride scholarship to Harvard.
But if God didn't want you to be average, then why'd he give you the last name Nut? Am I right? Ask Stumped the Scholar. Wait here.
Where?
I got you some.
But I...
Oh, don't worry. It's apropos of what we're talking about. Apropos. Do you know that word?
Yes, Mama.
Your father tells me it's Latin for kind of on the subject.
Call me. Or not.
Is someone there?
No, Mama, it's nothing.
Oh, I thought I heard the door.
No, it's closed. I think that door's closed for good.
Such a long face. This'll cheer you up. Open it.
Mama, I don't need a hat.
Ugh, nor do I. Never wear them. But now and then I make an exception.
beautiful.
You like it?
Sure, Mama.
It's the only hat I've ever worn. You know, I met your father when I was the hat check girl at the Starliner Dance Club on Michigan Avenue. One thing I learned working there, a hat is what a person hopes to be, not who they are. It's yours.
Mama,
Look inside the box. I was gonna give it to you for Christmas, but I think you need it now.
Oh, Mama,
Open it.
Thank you, but
I spent my whole allowance on it.
Two tickets to the Ice Capades.
What you think? Just us girls?
Sure, Mama.
You like it so much you're crying? You got me going now, too.
Mama, please understand. I'm not average.
Of course you are. Oh, but don't worry. God loves average people. Why do you think he made so many of them?
Okay, 5th time's a charm, the thinnest shirt I own. This has got to work. Can you hear me? Testing 1, 2, 3. Ring once for yes, twice for no. Yes! Darn. I said once for yes, twice for no. There was no 3 rings up in the equation. What? If you didn't hear me, how would you know how to ring twice? Look, don't get all mental on me, Majewski. Bogey? What do you mean bogey approaching? I don't know what bogey means. Bogey at the door right now! It's open.
Hello, Mr. Nutt.
Welcome. Where's your coat?
Oh, I forgot it.
You forgot your coat?
Yeah, it's only 20 blocks and a short train ride away. I'm not cold.
Well, thank you for coming to dinner. Any business today?
Oh, a customer came in. She browsed a bit, but no sale.
She'll be back. You know, the average customer tries on a hat 3 times before they buy it. That's why I have a grace policy. Return it in 1 week, no questions asked. You know why?
No.
Because I'm into forgiveness.
Oh.
You know, I was thinking the other day, what is forgiveness? Do you ever think about that?
Sure, I guess.
I dare say that some people wouldn't be able to survive without forgiveness. You know, their guilt must be tearing them up inside. Night after night, they lie there and they think, I'm not forgiven. I'm going to heck. You know what I mean by heck, Stanley? You got your flames, your smoke, your thick smoke, and pain. Lots of pain. Then more smoke.
You feel guilty or something?
Me? I regret nothing. Not even things I've done by accident.
Okay, Mr. Nutt, I get your point.
Point? I'm not trying to make a point, Stanley.
Okay, Mr. Nutt, can I call you Jerry?
Nope.
Okay, Mr. Nutt. There's something I need to confess.
I'm all ears.
Well, I've lived a rather charmed life. Pretty much everything I've wanted, I've got, and I guess what I'm trying to say is, could you not stand so close?
Why, of course.
Well, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life.
Oh, I'm sure you have.
Big mistakes.
I'm all ears.
For one thing, I lied to you about who I am.
You've been lying to me. I shall take your confession. Hypocrite.
Excuse me?
You were saying?
Well, a few years ago, I've never told anyone this before.
Oh, I'm sure you've kept it under your hat.
Well, I was driving home from Harvard after a party and...
Harvard?
Yes, I attend Harvard. And I had had a few...
Yes. Alcohol. Nothing good comes from it.
And, well, it was dark and I... No. That's not it. I simply wasn't paying attention and I...
And you ran a red light.
Yes. How did you know?
Used my intellectual logic.
I broadsided a Volkswagen.
You mean a Chevy?
No, it was a Volkswagen.
We can work out the details later.
And a young man who was driving.
Very young.
He and his wife.
Wait a minute.
They survived.
What wife?
With injuries.
No, Charlie had no wife, Stanley. That doesn't make any sense.
Mr. Nutt, it'd be best if I did this without interruption. After the accident, I didn't immediately check on the couple. Instead, selfishly, the first thing I did is call up my father's Manhattan attorney. He made a few phone calls that night and everything was taken care of. The couple's medical bills were paid and they got a handsome payoff. In the end, I didn't even get points on my driver's license. Mr. Nutt, if I'd been born into another family, I'd have a record, maybe even jail time, but I was born into the right family, so I'm allowed an endless string of second chances. But then 6 months ago, I met someone, and she told me about her brother Charlie, and for the first time, I realized how one small action, one single gesture can affect the world. Before her, everything was replaceable. But now I know I can never replace her. Mr. Nutt, the only forgiveness in life comes when we don't repeat our mistakes. And so I'm here to tell you that I love your daughter, and she's having a grandchild, and I'd like your permission for her hand in marriage.
This only goes to prove what I've always known to be true. Go to Harvard and you'll wind up some communist weirdo that supports the National Endowment of the Arts and impregnated by some Homo erectus. What? Father Ramona? You, kitchen, now.
But I just
You want my daughter's hand in marriage? Go to the kitchen and check on the soup.
Soup?
There's soup on the stove. Check it.
Yes.
The soup,
Okay,
Stanley.
let's go.
It's open.
Hello, Mr. Nutt.
Enter.
I can't stay.
Oh, that's too bad. We're making soup.
Is Rosie here?
Well, she's out.
Good. I just came to give you this.
What's this?
It's a letter from the Cardinal. I'm sorry it's in Latin, but you said you could read Latin.
Yeah, of course. Latin's no problem for me.
As you can see, it
Undoes the baptism of my son. Yeah.
And it offers the
church's apologies. It says it right there. It's all very clear, Father, but isn't there something else? $1,000 smackers.
It's all I have in this world, but it helps you forget this unfortunate incident.
Yes, well, everything seems to be in order. There's only one problem. I can't accept this.
Oh, thank God.
I can't accept it because you haven't signed it yet. Well, everything worked out for the best. You know where the door is?
Mr. Nutt, I've never met anyone like you.
I am what I am.
You're the only person I've ever met who has no regrets. You never once doubted yourself, your purpose, your parenting skills. You're the only guilt-free person I've ever met.
Thank you.
I hope you don't take this as an insult, but I can't help but think how boring your life must be.
No, not an insult at all, Father. Know how I know? Hanlon's razor. A corollary of Finnegal's law. Never attribute to malice that which can be explained by foolishness. While shaving.
Bless you, Mr. Nutt. May God have pity on your guilt-free soul.
Wait.
Yes?
Father Amona, before you leave, would you be so kind as to take my confession?
If you'd like.
Forgive me, Father, I used to be a smoker.
Smoking isn't a sin.
It was a Christmas Eve, 3 years ago. I had just got home from work, I was tired, and I needed a smoke. Only I promised Rosie that if she'd stop taking hits of the Jim Beam she keeps underneath the counter, I would quit smoking. And well, I broke that promise.
And you are forgiven.
No, you don't understand, Father. I knew I just couldn't slip down to the store to buy some cigs, so I asked my son Charlie to do it for me. He had just got his driver's license, so I made him this deal. He could take the Chevy out for a ride if he promised to pick me up a pack of Viceroy Lights. He said he'd only be gone 20 minutes. And I've never been able to forgive myself.
Or have I?
You, Charlie. But God does. God forgives us. I hope.
What are you doing?
What does it look like I'm doing? I'm confessing.
The soup's fine. Loretta,
Langton, what are you...
checking the soup.
What's this, a party? I'll make trail mix.
Mrs. Nutt, I love your daughter and I'd like your permission for her hand in marriage.
Oh my God. You're the boy who impregnated my Loretta and totally ruined our lives forever. It is a pleasure to meet you.
What are you doing?
If your family is such a concern, I thought I'd make sure it was okay with them first. Mrs. Nutt, do we have your permission?
Well, that depends. Do you love her?
More than anything.
Do you love him?
Mama,
Be honest. Do you love him?
Yes, but...
Good enough. Welcome to the family. I think we have a priest on the premises.
Mr. Nutt, do we have your permission?
Stanley Kowalski. I just want you to know, I think you're a horrible, horrible human being. And I will never forgive you for what you did to my daughter. But let's deal with that later. For now, welcome to the family.
Father Ramona, let's unlock the church.
Wait. I'm sorry, Langdon.
Langdon?
But when you marry someone, you not only choose the person, but their family. I can't expose you to mine, and I'm not comfortable with yours. I'm sorry.
Lori, honey, wait.
Mama, no.
What about the child?
Don't ask.
Loretta, please wait. There's something I've got to tell you. Something I've held back for a very long time.
Tell me later.
No, because I don't know if I have the strength to tell you later. When your father and I were first married, we wanted children. You can't imagine how much we wanted children, am I right?
Who doesn't want children?
But there were complications. I saw so many doctors. I swear there's hardly a doctor between here and Michigan Avenue we didn't see.
Mama.
But then one day I found out that I was with child. I can't tell you the joy that came into this home. Suddenly your father and I started getting along. The hat business picked up. And then the blessed day came. And after 18 hours of horrible, excruciating, I thought it would never end. Oh my God, pain, labor. I held in my arms a beautiful little baby. Boy.
Mama, I'm your oldest.
Sort of.
What are you...
We tried so hard to have a baby the first time round, we failed. 2 years before I had Charlie, Father Gorzinski came to us and said that he knew of a baby that was up for adoption.
Mama.
A wonderful little baby girl.
Mama.
The most beautiful thing I had ever seen. Her hands so small and those clear, bright eyes. But soon we discovered that she wasn't like us. She liked art and algebra and funny-tasting French cheese.
You're not serious.
Haven't you always known in your heart?
Well, when I was 10, I used to search your drawers for the adoption papers, but...
I did a horrible thing not wanting this day to come. I put them in the garbage. I'm so sorry, Lori, honey. Will you please forgive me?
Who are my real parents?
Rosie.
They were nice people, but far too young. It broke your mother's heart to give you up. It broke her heart to pieces, but she knew it was for the best. I heard that years later, after your parents went to Princeton, they got back together and married.
Where are they now?
They became Peace Corps volunteers. They were out on a boat, headed out to help people somewhere. It was a winter's morn, and a terrible storm came up, and their boat was like a sieve, and they were lost. Haven't I always said avoid water? I was just so proud of you. I wanted you to be all mine. Will you please forgive me?
Mama, there's no need to forgive.
So you see, you're not a nut. You have never been a nut.
But then what am I?
Your last name is
Yes.
Mercedes!
Mercedes.
Uh-huh.
Loretta Mercedes. Wow, that's a name.
Loretta Mercedes, will you marry me?
Kennedy weds Mercedes. Not bad.
Wait a minute. Did you say Kennedy? Buddy, you told me your last name was Kowalski.
My children, it's time to unlock the church.
Yes, unlock!
No, I withdraw my permission.
Let's get the heck out of here before they change their minds!
My daughter's not going to marry a Kennedy.
I love you, Loretta Mercedes.
I love you, Langdon Kennedy.
No. We're done here, you understand? You go back to wherever the heck you came. Put my daughter down, you Kennedy piece of crap.
That night, Christmas Eve, Langdon and I wed. The next afternoon, we caught a flight to Cambridge. At the airport, I told Rosie that she'd not lost a daughter, but gained a son. Later that night, missing her daughter and new son, I can't help but think that she must have gone back to her small Chicago home and cried herself to sleep.
What did I say? Didn't I say wear a hat? Didn't I say you'd get sick if you didn't wear a hat?
Get me some Vicks Vapor Rub.
Oh, look, Rosie, we need to talk. Why'd you tell Loretta she was adopted? We're her parents. You know it and I know it. I mean, I'm right. Right?
Yes, she's your child. And mine.
Then why?
Jerry, being a parent isn't easy. And I doubt if anyone has ever got it right. But one thing I know for sure, they'll never grow up unless you let them go.
But she's gonna find out.
Sure she will. She's smart. But she'll understand why I did it and she'll forgive me. That's her. Third time she's called tonight.
It's good to have a daughter that calls.
Hi, Lori, honey. Did you make it home safe? What? Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, this is Rosie Nutt, formerly Rosie Grabowski. Yes, Pulaski High School. Who's this? Oh my God, it's Barbara Hilton. Oh, Barbara, there's something I've got to tell you. I've been trying to get a hold of you for years and years. You're calling people on your karma list. AA? Me too. Oh, no, you never treated me poorly in high school, and if you did, I totally forgot. If you insist. Yes, I gladly forgive you from the bottom of my heart. Bless you, Barbara Hilton. Bless you.
There's no such thing as a perfect family, yours or mine. We're all nuts. And that's why we need to forgive. Forgiveness. That's how to survive your family at Christmas. That summer, I was blessed with a baby girl. For days, Langdon and I couldn't find the right name for her. Finally, we named her Caroline. Caroline N. Kennedy. Guess what the N stands for?
Holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace.
Always have a